footballers talking about what it actually means to be a footballer is being more common these days. Despite all the glitz and glamour of their life, sometimes we forget they're just human beings. And just like us, they fail, cry, and struggle. But unlike us, they do it every day in front of millions, who instead of encouraging them, mock them, insult them, and before you know it, the thing they love doing becomes a source of constant pain. Some go crazy, some do ridiculous things, and some die. Today, we're going down the road into some of the deepest struggles of some footballers. In 2022, Ronaldo was seen to have met with popular psychologist Jordan Peterson. That year was a very tough year for Ronaldo. He was chased out of his old club, lost his son, his daughter had been admitted to the hospital. Ronaldo even admitted losing motivation to play. Once in an interview, Ronaldo was seen crying when talking about the death of his father. When he was little, he wanted to succeed just so he could afford to give his father a good life, and has had to play with such pain in his heart ever since. He also talked about not leading the kind of life he wanted.
To be honest, it's boring. You have girlfriend, you have kids, you want some privacy. The last 10 years, my privacy is gone. I'm not gonna cry, but if you ask me, I'm 1.5 years here. You know how many times I'll go to the parking with my kids? You know?
Tell me.
0.
Not once.
Not once.
Because you can't.
If I go, it will come like 20 people. The kids will be like nervous. I will be nervous. My girlfriend will be nervous.
He was severely backlashed for not putting up impressive numbers in the World Cup. And when Messi won the World Cup, the backlash went to a whole new level. Every injury, every missed goal were severely overanalyzed and led to massive scrutiny. According to reports from Marca, the meeting was in respect to Ronaldo's chronic depression and anxiety over his future. Towards the end of 2022, Ronaldo was literally offered to all the 16 clubs still in the Champions League, and they all rejected him. Just one bad year and everyone cast him aside. If one of the greatest players to have laced a football boot can go down such a dark tunnel, who is safe? Another player who have been struggling massively is Neymar Jr. From the second Neymar started his career, the pressure was on. From being compared to Ronaldinho, to being compared to Messi, to having all of his achievements overlooked. Neymar has been compared to other players ever since his career started, and no soon after starting his career, he was seen as a failure for not living up to the expectations set up for him by his team, family, and everyone else. And despite giving his all anytime he's on the pitch, especially for the national team, he has always been unlucky, being always injured, not being able to participate in any major tournament from beginning to end. And while trying to live up to the enormous expectations of his entire country, the injuries persist. And worst, people act like he purposely incurs the injuries himself. Not to mention some fans who have tried to pin cases on him in an attempt to extort money or to damage his reputation. Neymar once said, he didn't find football fun anymore. Speaking of not having fun, we also have Andres Iniesta. In 2010, Iniesta should have been the happiest man on the planet. He was on top of his game. He was a key member of the Barcelona team that had retained the La Liga title. He was on cue to being named one of the best players of the year, and was so instrumental. Barcelona only lost out in the Champions League when he was injured. Yet Iniesta was suffering with chronic depression. So much so, he had to start seeing a therapist. The loss of his childhood friend hit him so hard, he felt his world had crumbled. Lucky for him, he was able to beat that depression in that year. He made Spain world champions, even dedicating his winning strike to his now late friend. Other than the mental challenges discussed earlier, we also forget that most of these players are lonely. They are usually on the bus or plane, traveling from city to city. And while that might sound fun, you realize they miss out on spending time with their families. Most of them struggle to find friends, well, because... but also because they are never in one place for a long time. Messi was massively criticized for only playing in Barcelona, until you realize most of these players have families, kids. Always changing clubs and moving from city to city makes it will be more difficult for their kids to fit in and make friends in their new city. And just after they finally make friends, Daddy's got a new club and they have to move again. Not to talk of the pressure, with every fan screaming your name. The pressure to keep performing at such a high level is unbelievable. Most athletes turn to drugs or alcohol to hide away from the pain, the loneliness and enormous pressure that comes with being in the spotlight, having your every move monitored. Having your every flaw overly analyzed is just so overwhelming. And it even gets worse.
Harry Maguire, we're learning, has received a bomb threat to his home.
Not only are they scared of massively underperforming, sometimes even your own family's safety is at risk, which also brings about massive paranoia. And while they are battling all of these, they still go on the pitch and try to give their best. So, if you get anything from the video, let it be that, like human beings, players struggle like you and I, and despite their massive paychecks, they are just humans. Thank you for watching.